Over the years, the nature of Bitcoin has changed quite a lot. When we look on-chain, we see that initially in the first years, we saw more and more adoption, we saw more and more wallets, we saw more and more transfers. Now, in the past years, things have changed. The activity on-chain for transferring Bitcoin is actually going down. There is a new niche, that's ordinals, that's inscriptions within Bitcoin, where there is a bit of activity, but purely as a transfer mechanism, Bitcoin's usage is going down, yet the price over the years tends to go up. What's the reason for that long-term price increase over the years? Let's have a look at the data. Check this out. This is the active address momentum. In the first years, there was nothing but growth. More and more active addresses over time, which then peaked in January of 2018. That's also when the price peaked at around 20,000. Since then, we actually don't see any growth anymore, right? This apparently exponential line broke. Yet the price still moved from 20K all the way to our current 60 to 70K. So why did the price more than 3x when the active addresses aren't really increasing? Have a look at this. This is the transfer volume momentum. This is measured in Bitcoin, not in US dollars. And it fluctuates quite a bit. So it's not like more and more Bitcoin suddenly get transferred over time. But there are numbers that are constantly increasing. And the reason for this is actually not that obvious. This is the number of transactions, and that is at an all-time high. It's now close to 580,000 transactions, and it was at a bit more than half of that during the peak of 2017-2018 when Bitcoin was at 20K. So the transactions grew, they didn't 3x, the price 3x, but at least the transactions, the number of transactions grew. So how is it possible that the transfer volume measured in Bitcoin is down while the number of transactions are up? The answer is inscriptions or NFTs on the Bitcoin blockchain. There's quite a bit of usage. It goes up, but then ebbs down again, then goes up again, and the fees tend to spike whenever another wave of inscriptions starts. Have a look at this. This is the number of BRC20 inscriptions deployed over time. This also spikes up every now and then. Currently, times are rather calm. So that explains a high number of transactions while the transfer volume is down. Now check this out. This is the CoinDay value destroyed. This tends to pick up whenever the price is high. It tends to be low whenever the price is low. And there are various indicators around this showing if we are currently heated or rather cheap in the market. The way this is calculated is by checking what are the very old coins doing. The coins that haven't moved for a long time, when they start moving, then the number of coin days destroyed goes up. So it's a measure of the long-term holders selling. So Bitcoin activity goes in waves. It can go up because a lot of new people enter the space, right? Because Bitcoin makes new all-time highs. Everybody talks about it. New people come in. Or the activity can spike up because of innovations such as inscriptions. Now, independent of the reason for an activity wave, we always see that with heightened activity comes heightened fee revenue for the miners. We had a massive peak again at the end of 2017. Then we had 3 more peaks during the bull run of 2020, 2021, and currently again, when we moved from 15K all the way to our current 60, 70K, we have again 3 peaks. The recent 3 peaks are not due to new people jumping in. It's again an expression of the BRC20 deployments. So the NFTs on Bitcoin. So we can measure this in 2 ways. We can measure this in Bitcoin or in US dollars. In Bitcoin, the peaks tend to be declining over time, especially when we don't take the fee revenue as percent of income, but just denominate it in BTC alone. Measured in US dollars, it tends to rise over time. The main problem with crypto YouTube is conflict of interest. Too many YouTubers shill garbage, promote garbage, and fill up their pockets in the background. Not this channel. Instead, there's simply the offer where I share my skills, my perspectives to you, and where I also share direct access to me, where you can ask me any questions. Feel free to check it out. The premium membership link is down below. And so we still haven't answered the question. Why does the Bitcoin price over the time frame, over the many years, 2x, 3x, 4x, when the number of active addresses isn't growing as quickly, when the number of transactions isn't growing as quickly, why is the price outgrowing the adoption? Is this all just a bubble? I think it's simply a shift from Bitcoin mainly being used as a transfer mechanism to now more being used as a store of value. Because the number of active addresses might not be growing that much, but the number of holders definitely does. This is the address count by cohorts. And yes, this does peak again in January of 2018, December of 2017. With the bear market, we also saw the number of addresses going down. But then we saw a bottoming of that number. We even saw a recovery afterwards. Once it was clear that the long-term upwards trend wasn't really broken, that was the time when Bitcoin bottomed out. And so from that bottom in 2019, which was a bit over $3,000, all the way to today, we saw that the number of addresses doubled. So there's more and more people that lock up their Bitcoin long term. We have seen again a spike at the beginning of the year. The number of addresses went down since then, but at some point this will turn around again. This is a very nice long-term increasing chart. So there isn't more active speculation with Bitcoin, there's simply just more accumulation. And the more people buy into Bitcoin regularly, the more people dollar cost average into Bitcoin and use it as a savings vehicle to protect against inflation, to protect against the volatility of the stock market or of the property market. The more people do this, the more the price will appreciate over time. And I don't believe that this chart here will turn around anytime soon. I believe that this growth will continue, and with it, the price will continue to rise. The number of active addresses only had to double for the price to more than 20x. And that's because more and more people buy in regularly, more and more people dollar cost average in. And I believe this is the right way to approach Bitcoin, especially right now where a lot of people are in profit. You don't want to bet the farm on Bitcoin right now. Bitcoin can easily drop by 50%. But when you're dollar cost averaging in, then you can always tell yourself a positive story. Because if the price is going up, then we make profit. That's all nice. If the price is going down though, that's also okay, because we already from the get-go planned to buy in regularly. So if we suddenly drop by 50%, fine, we now get double the amount of Bitcoin for the same fiat currency, and we plan on holding long term because we plan on utilizing this nice trend. There is more and more of us, and once you become a Bitcoiner, you stay a Bitcoiner. There's very few people that bought into Bitcoin regularly for several months and several years and then suddenly stopped it. Or to say it differently, Bitcoin is a sticky product. It's a self-reinforcing flywheel. People buy in because the price long-term rises. Thus, the price continues to long-term rise. Thus, more people continue to buy in. That's what's going on over here. And that's what really matters. It's not the temporary ups and downs of the year. If it's your first time, feel free to subscribe. I publish this regularly. A like would be very much appreciated as well. It helps the channel grow. If you've got Telegram, feel free to join us. Link is down below. Looking very much forward to chatting with you.